Good afternoon, I guess, everybody. It's Team Tuesday at All Points North Lodge, and we have a very, very special guest for you today. I'm very pumped, and I hope you're pumped. And if you're not, you will be in a second. So I'm not going to tell you who it is until I bring them on. Now, this is exciting. It's a different kind of live than we've had before, and it is requested. So here we go. Oh, okay. You guys, the anticipation, is it killing you? It's killing me. Here we go. Hey!
Buddy, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
What's happening?
This is more difficult than I give people credit for because I thought this camera was lined up perfectly, and now I feel short.
It's strange. It like cuts you, you think you're lined up right, and then it cuts you um your screen half off. There you go.
Here we go. That's better.
What?
Sitting on a pillow.
Perfect. Okay. Well, everybody, this is Keith Weiner. He's the social media specialist at All Points North Lodge. So, if you're wondering what that means, it means that all of the beautiful things that you see on this particular social media account are created, posted, well, mostly created, posted by Keith. And if you get some nice, happy responses, he also is probably sending those. So, Keith, tell us about where you're from, how you got to California, what the heck are you doing here?
Totally. So I'm originally from Massachusetts. I went to school in Rhode Island for communications, and after school wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in New England, so I had family on the West Coast that could help me get into the entertainment business. And so I got a job as a production assistant for Nickelodeon and moved to California.
Okay, yeah. Production assistant for Nickelodeon sounds like the craziest, like kids grow up either wanting to be on Nickelodeon or be a production assistant for Nickelodeon, I guess, right?
It was a really good time. I got to work on some fun shows. The highlight of that experience was working on Sam and Cat, which was Ariana Grande and Jeanette McCurdy's show. So that was really fun.
Okay, so are you like, are you an A-list celeb? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was in one episode. It was the last episode of the show. I think I ruined it, so they canceled the show.
Wait a second. So for reference to everyone who's watching, Keith is like my work bestie. No offense to all the other people. I like them too. I have other work friends. However, I'm like expecting to know all of these answers, but I don't recall knowing that you were on an episode.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. I play photography assistant Keith in the episode.
Oh
Uh,
my God.
they were casting the episode, and they were like, "We need a photography assistant to be in the episode," and the character's name is Keith. And the people in the writers' room were like, "Don't we have one of those?" And so they came to find me, and they were like, "Do you want to be in the show?" And I said, "Sure."
That's hilarious. What sort of preparation did you have to do to really step outside of your normal self to play that character?
I went through wardrobe, so I'm not wearing anything that I would normally be wearing, and it is ridiculous. Uh, and I don't think I was supposed to have a speaking role, but I couldn't stop myself from saying something in the middle of the scene, which is not okay. You're not supposed to do that as an actor. And the writers in the writers' room were like, "That's hilarious. Let's do that again." And I was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to say that." And they're like, "No, you weren't, but do it anyway." And so it was a different job I had that day.
You literally wrote yourself into the script.
I did by accident, yeah.
Fascinating. I feel like, okay, so it's really significant that you now work as a social media specialist and not an actor because it sounds like your career really could have taken off that day.
So yeah, I mean, I'm horrifyingly camera shy, so this is just a nightmare for me. I'm a behind the scenes kind of guy, but I had fun that day, and then
Uh-huh.
from there, I actually started working in radio, and that was much more public facing for me. I was on air a lot, and that was really fun because no one was looking at me, so I wasn't, freaking out. Um, but I had a really good time doing that. So that was closer to me being famous than being on TV.
Okay, sure. And then what got you from radio to social media? Where did that come between?
So, working for television, I had met someone who hosted a nationally syndicated radio show and knew that I was good at content creation, um, video, photo, editing, and shooting. So they asked if I would come work for the radio station and do that, and also be on air occasionally. Michelle in the comments is my girlfriend. She just asked what was my radio name. I was on air as Speedo Keith. I won't explain that any further. Feel free to look me up.
Michelle, MVP of today's live. Love it.
Blowing me up. That's okay. And so I went to work for radio doing the visuals for a radio show, which is a ridiculous thing to explain to people.
Yeah.
But I helped run the social media campaigns for a radio show. And then from there, I ended up working at a different radio station and running the digital media for that entire station. So it was like content creation, then social media management, and that's how I ended up doing this line of work.
Great. Okay, so when you left school, did you anticipate, man, like social media is really something that I would like to get into? Or, it sounds a little bit like you fell into at least some of it.
It's funny. I didn't see it as a career. I came to LA, Hollywood, what have you, to be a camera operator because I thought that's what I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that profession and I was like, oh my God, that's so much more boring than I thought it was going to be.
No offense to any camera operators.
No, it's a great job, but you have to put in like decades of work to do a job that is not super engaging in my opinion.
Ah, wow. Okay.
And I really liked the like run and gun aspect of content creation for social media.
Yeah.
So I had like skills that were aimed at that, but I thought I wanted to go a different direction, but ended up following my skill set to content creation and social media management.
Totally. Okay. So when I was looking at your Team Tuesday today, I realized that back when we created this idea, when you and Jay created this idea, you had put that you had been here for 8 months, but now it's been 11 months, which is almost a year. So again, for reference, Keith and I started at All Points North Lodge in the same office a week or two apart. A week?
I thought you'd been there for much, much longer. So I walked in and I was like, wow, this girl knows her stuff. And then you're like, oh, I started last week. So
I'm just grilling people about what we do because I'm supposed to write about it. So we started about the same time. So it's crazy from my perspective to see how much the company has grown. When we started, there were a lot of ideas, and some funding and a little bit, but now we're like running a full-blown, the lodge is open and we have substance abuse and trauma clients. And like, what has it been like for you to kind of be here from start to now? It's been almost a year. We're almost toddlers at the company.
Yeah. It's interesting. It was a real challenge to join a company to promote something that wasn't open.
Yeah.
So that was like the initial big challenge for me as a social media manager, was doing that. How do I promote a thing that's not yet accessible? And so the doors open and now it's just everything we can think of to promote. I have that in front of me, but it's what takes priority and how can we best serve our clients?
Yeah.
So it's awesome to be working on a project that's in full swing now.
Oh, it's so fun. And yeah, it's crazy just the amount of content. How many videos did you crank out yesterday? 24?
24 videos. It was
That's so funny because at the beginning there was like nothing.
There was nothing to make videos of.
Right.
It was all hype material. Now
right.
It's all deliverable material and quality. And
yeah.
Now it's just a vast resource to tap. It's great.
Yeah. I imagine I don't know, for me, you'll sometimes a review will come in on Yelp or Google, right? And you'll screenshot it and send it to the marketing department. And there's this like little burst of joy inside me, like, whoop, I just almost dropped the camera. Like, oh my gosh, what we're doing really matters. It's really impacting people's lives. And like these stories that people are willing to share, which I think is crazy impressive when people share reviews, because it's a really, I mean, this is not like a restaurant. This is a really vulnerable thing, right, that they've done. Yeah, so like, how does it feel for you when this, like, a review comes in, or something tangible?
It's cool to have reviews come in because I know we're making a difference. I know we're helping people, but where our office is in Malibu, we're not client facing. And so it's just, you know, there's not a lot of feedback from clients to us as a marketing department. And when that review comes in, it's like an actual tangible thing I can look at and feel that we're making a difference. At least our team is. I know that our on-site team is making a difference, but it's cool. Right. That appreciation for the digital team.
Yeah, and it's so, I don't know, what do you feel is like, does it feel different to you marketing this sort of thing than in the marketing that you've done in the past? Yeah,
certainly. So I went from radio to podcasting because I thought that was going to be the next thing I was born to do. I got really disenchanted with podcasting very quickly. And then I saw that APN was looking for a social media manager specialist, and wanted to do that because it was the first time I was going to be able to do something that helped people and not just promoted entertainment. And it's funny, when we had started as a company, we had this big team meeting and we talked about, you know, how important all of our jobs are. And I had said to one of our therapists at the time, don't ask me that question. I'm just the social media guy. I'm just here to help promote. Yeah. He said to me, no, you're helping save lives. And while I think that's dramatic of him, I at least feel like I'm part of the team that's helping people now. And so having that knowledge that I'm helping someone makes doing this as a career much more fulfilling.
Totally. I mean, it feels like we get to almost hold the signs up that to people that need help, or open the door and wave them in. I don't know. It's so, yeah, it feels like it's not just ooh, what's something gimmicky we can do? It's hey, how do we create something meaningful that compels people to see if this is a fit for them?
For me, we have a talented, dedicated, awesome, hardworking staff, and I get to be the cheerleader that helps them help people. That's a good feeling. I've lived my entire life on a non-sarcastic platform of "I'm happy," and that's just kind of how I go through my day. If you're happy, I'm happy, and so I can help make you happy is the way I want to.
Love that. Love that. Sorry, you were breaking up and I just wanted to check. Hi, Aaron. Aaron's on. Okay, tell us about what it is like to quarantine with a food stylist. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so Michelle Ferrand at Cup of Zest is my girlfriend, and she is an assistant food stylist and runs her own food blog, which means that all day and night she is developing recipes that are great for party hosting, teaching us how to host parties that are not taxing on the host and fun for everyone involved, and bring a little something extra in there. Which means that there's lots of good food all the time, to the point where it's a lot of food. I've developed the COVID-19, as they say, which is...
That's amazing. And I can say personally, as a person who works in the office with, let's call you Michelle's boyfriend, it's a joy to be able to have her snacks and also her, presence at some of our events.
Yes, she does prep pretty good work treats, which is a big win for...
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why quarantine is hard, because I can't have Michelle's snacks.
I feel for everyone missing out on Michelle's in the fridge before and feel sad knowing that you don't get to eat them.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay. Um, so Keith, your connection is struggling a little bit, so I will wrap this up, but it's been so lovely, so fun. Keith, thanks for being on here. Thanks for everything that you do. We love what you're doing on social media, and that's why we're here on Instagram Live right now. So amazing. So we will probably do a round 2 of Keith, because I imagine we can have some more questions, but I didn't ask him about that, so we'll see what he says after my stuff comes through. Anyway, thanks for joining us on Team Tuesday. Let us know if you have any questions for me, for Keith, for our social media, and we will catch you next Team Tuesday. See you later.